Welcome to tonight's recap of the Bachelorette Desiree.
It's part 2 of the finale.
And after the final rose.
Exactly.
A full 3 hours. Alright, so it starts off live. And Chris is like, what's up? And then it goes back to Antigua.
Well, first he's like, this is the most dramatic
I skipped that part because we've heard it 50 times.
Ever. Alright, so skip back to Desiree. She is hurt. Chris shows up. It's Chatty Cathy time.
Let's be clear. It's Chris Harrison we're talking about here.
Yes. And the whole thing was so freaking awkward.
ABC really screws him over like every season. He's a TV show host. He's not presenter. A therapist.
Exactly. For crying out loud, I think it would have been prudent to pull out a therapist at this point because this girl's just been through hell.
He just sits there, and then they cry, and he's like, I don't know what to say,
yeah.
And they cry more.
Well, this time he said, there's still 2 guys here. And she was like, yes, let's do it.
All right.
She wants to go on with it, because it's not the end of the world, even though she said it was. She said she wants to go home, but she still wants to go on the dates.
Okay. I mean, when in Antigua. So they had a rose ceremony, which wasn't really a rose ceremony, but we'll let them say it was. And she's like, Brooks is gone.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious when he wasn't there. His spot was empty and cold, like her heart.
Sorry, actually she was like, Brooks is gone.
Yeah, it took about half an hour for her to get it out. But she's like, yo, I'm still here and I'm ready to party.
It's not exactly what she said, but she was all... I want you guys to only take the rose if you really want to be here.
So they take it. That was so cheap. Of course they're gonna accept it. Come on, they still want to be on the show.
You never know. She didn't think that Brooks was leaving.
Alright, well back at the live show, Chris is working that crowd. He's working it. That's what he does best. Yeah. Des will still find love. That was the consensus of the crowd.
Yes.
And my lip gloss will still find hairs.
Ew. So let's talk about the final dates.
Well, the guy in the audience was totally disgusted. If you noticed him as well, leave it in the comments. He looked like a crazy-ass Harrison Ford. With
if you look fast, he's Harrison Ford guy. Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but like a crazy one. Like if Harrison Ford... was crazy.
There's also a Bristol Palin lookalike.
There was.
Audience.
And he was disgusted when he found out that she wanted to go on the dates. Everyone else was like... And he was like,
she did. And the first one was with Drew.
It was a horse date. Horse.
She shows up on a horse.
Date.
He's like, what's up? And she's like, oh, hi.
She cannot enjoy it because she's not thinking about being on the date with him. She's thinking about cutting him loose the whole time.
Yeah, so then they sit down and she's like, there's something missing here.
And he stupidly doesn't see it coming. What a maroon.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Hello, Drew. She was crying hysterically at the last rose ceremony and totally, like, devastated that Brooks had lost. I wouldn't want to be going on that date.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, but, like, on all their dates, it's not like she was like, oh, you're okay.
Yeah.
She was, like, all in, it seemed, to him,
right.
I'm sure.
So, yeah, that happened. I think he's just a little slow.
I don't think so. I feel bad for him.
Relationship slow. Like, he doesn't pick up on these clues. Like,
I think it's different when you're in it.
She's just not that into you.
I don't know.
She is dating 25 other guys.
So then she had her date with Chris, and I was like, oh my god, is she gonna do the same thing? Or is this gonna be like an actual date?
Well, this was a catamaran date, and she was having a good time. She was like, Brooks who?
So then they go to dinner, and they're both like, oh yeah, this is wonderful. And she's like, this is great, right?
Well, he got her a journal. Hello.
Did you steal that from Zach? I bet you didn't find that at a yard sale, did you?
But she was like, oh, those poems, oh, the inscription.
Yes. So then there was a live show check-in with Sean and Catherine.
And some hens from last season.
Yep. So they talked to them a little bit. Oh, did you set a date? We're not saying. And they were like, Brooks or Chris?
And some people said Brooks, and some people said Chris. Nobody said no one, however, though, because they all read the press that she is engaged.
Was hopeful and knowledgeable.
Yes. So, it's time for Chris to meet the parents and the brother. He crazy.
Had a lot of questions.
He don't respect her.
So then he made it through that, and it seemed like the brother actually liked him.
I wonder what they left on the cutting room floor.
I don't know. And then Chris had a little conversation with Dez's father, and he asked permission.
And he shall get it. He got it. Yes, take her, please. Finally. So she actually wants to be with him, she thinks. That's what she told Broseph. And what about Brooks? What if he showed up right now? What would she do?
Who knows? Well, he didn't. So then...
Exactly.
Sorry.
It's time to pick up that ring. Neil Lane, hello.
He always brings some gorgeous stuff.
Those rings were amazing.
I was drooling a little bit.
Oh, I don't care what you look like. Show up with one of those.
Alright, so it was the final countdown. Des is standing up on the proposal deck, and Chris is riding up in the car.
I love this. And she's looking at the rose, he's looking at the box, and then the ring. What's it doing out of the box? You don't want to be dropping that on the floor. You're going to be looking around there forever.
Yeah. So he gets there, and he's like pouring out his guts. He's about to get down on one knee, and she's like,
stop!
Wait. And he's just like,
strike.
Yes.
Yeah. She's like,
I think he thought that was it. It was over.
I think he totally crapped his pants. They had to change him.
I hope he was wearing
He got hair on his lip gloss.
So she was like, I just want to be honest with you. I loved Brooks, but now
You're
that
here
he's
now.
gone,
Yeah.
I love you.
No, she was like, now that he's gone and unclouded from my mind, I could see that you were here all the time. So he shows her the ring. She says,
1,000 times yes.
Yeah.
They're engaged.
Wow. All right, so it's time for After the Final Rose. Chris and Des kick it off, and Chris Harrison, I should say. It's kind of confusing with the two Chris's. Yeah. And she was like, Chris, he was always there for me.
Well, guess what? Brooks is here in the studio. Ah!
What? And he was looking fine.
Like a vampire.
Yes.
So Chris
What's
Harrison's
in his
like,
diary?
What happened? And he's like, I wasn't feeling it, man.
He wasn't feeling it when he was away from her. When he was with her, he was all like, maybe.
Yeah.
And then when he was away from her, he was like, ugh, what am I doing? Ugh. All right, so...
Then it revealed to him that she is engaged to Chris, and he was like, oh yeah, I saw that. I could see that.
I'm engaged, booyah! All right, so then they whisk him away, and...
Drew is the next victim.
He's okay with it. He's happy for her. Could he have done anything different, though, he wants to know?
No.
Then then she's all like, blah, 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 blah,
I don't even know what she was saying. I was just like, let this be over.
Let the torture be over. 3 hours is far too long for any show. And he's not in love with her now, surprisingly enough. He got over her pretty quickly.
Well, good for him.
Did they ask Brooks if he was... Well, he never said he was in love with her. He was never running. He was only crawling like a toddler baby.
Yep. So then it was time to bring out Chris. Their first time together in public.
They, of course, had to watch the proposal together. Like they hadn't seen that before. Come on.
Yep. And then we get an update on what's going on in the future. She's moving to Seattle this weekend.
That's a mistake. I'm sorry. It's a mistake. This is moving a little too quickly. And he showed up with a frame with roses from the rose ceremonies. And what? Yet another poem?
Oh, Chris.
It was called My Girl. Talking about...
Yeah, those weren't the words.
No, that was the name
I know
of
it was called My Girl.
All right. And yeah, that's his girl. That's who he's stuck with now.
I'm happy for both of them. I didn't see this coming. I thought there was no way she could have picked either of them after what she said about Brooks, but... I hope it works out.
I hope it works out too, but I'm getting a feeling, saw some looks as she thought the camera was off her, and it seemed like she was like,
I don't know.
I'm not thinking this is built to last. I hate to have to say that, but I can't tell a lie. All right.
So it's time to talk about the next season.
New Bachelor. Guess who it is? Puss in Boots. I'm sorry. He's Antonio Banderas light. I think he's awesome. I'm so happy that it's Juan Pablo. I would have been happy with Zach.
I would have been happier with Zachy Poo, but Juan Pablo is a nice person too.
He's a wonderful person. He seems really down to earth. He's got tequila. And the crowd freaking went nuts.
They lost it.
Everyone, I thought they were going to tear him apart like a ham sandwich. Yeah. And it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Juan Pablo. And he had to hug everyone. That I felt bad for. He had to pretend that he was interested in all these people.
It was weird.
Juan Pablo, don't compromise yourself. You're beautiful just the way you are. Stay that way forever.
Yep. So that's a wrap on this season. Congrats to Chris and Des.
Hope it lasts. Probably won't, though.
Why would you say that?
Because I'm being honest. All right, kids. Till next time. Much love.